Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. Yes, we're back, we're live! We're live here in Russia after last night's little bit of a debacle. We didn't really get a live stream up, but there is a video up for GP2, so let's go through the driver standings, because we have the full standings here for the Premier Division. That is Nikos is currently leading the way on 82 points with a healthy gap to Hamilton, who's in second, who's on 66. Then there's Mixilius Drama on P3 with 63, and then Stam, a massive gap to Stam, who's got 35 points. Then there's Senna with 33 points, and Glock with 30 points. Orchard David is in 7th with 23 points, and Jesse Tony is in Jesse Tony is in 8th with 20 points. Ricky is in P12 with P9, joint P9 with Peder Solheim, who are both on 12 points. And there's Brumat Dino on P11 with 10 points. Then AGP, who no longer races here, is in P12. Sam is in P9. Sam is in P13 with 8 points, and then Tuzmus is in P14 with 8 points. Then there's Futo in P15 with 6 points. Then the others haven't scored points. Okay, so what is happening? How are we doing today? It's all a bit up in the air right now, with a lot of different things have gone on in SFR. Let's have a look at the post that popped up earlier. No, those are rules. Okay, we're heading to Sochi tonight. We love Russia. Russia is one of my favourite circuits in Formula 1. I enjoy this circuit so much. But last week we saw Hamilton was looking very good, and then he crashed out. Nikos took it, and there was another faultless drive for there to be then a 1-3 for Ferrari, which was then split by Senna in the middle. So it's all fantastic here, and Ferrari are the team to beat right now. It's all getting up in the air. We all love looking at the races, and it's all getting even more fun as we get on. So I am not alone tonight. I do have Connor with me, but he's just gone to have his dinner, so he will be joining us midway through qualifying, and we should be all doing well. Hello Ryan, how are we doing in the chat today, you beautiful people? Everything's looking fantastic tonight. So here's the big news. The big news is that Ricky officially got moved and promoted up to Prem. So he'll be Stan winner, says Daddy Massel. I'm not reading that full name out, but I shall call you D. Yes, so Ricky has officially been full-time moved to Premier. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight, so we will be seeing him hopefully next week in this division once more. He's been full-time moved as his pace was a little bit too fast for GP2. So Russia is a circuit which is, well, it's Russia. It's fantastic, it's fun, it's nice, and if all the drivers are listening, you can officially ready up, and we'll be heading over to the circuit now. I don't believe we have any... Oh, no, we do. We have Josh, who's reserving. Oh, yeah, Josh has returned to us as a reserve driver once more. He will be reserving tonight in the Williams alongside Lee, but I don't think Lee is racing. I think he's having to go out. Lee was set to come on to commentary with us, but then his missus decided to finish early. So, you know, so I dug Connor out of the woodwork and decided that he was going to join us instead, which is great. Okie dokie. So, Russia. Sochi is a circuit which is mental, it's fun, it's a street circuit that isn't really a street circuit. How do you ask that? Well, it's set around the Olympic Park from the 2016, I want to say 16, no, whichever Winter Olympics it was, 2014? Maybe. It was a great circuit when it first came out. Lots of people doubted it. I think it's brilliant. I love it. But as we saw last night, tyres are a big issue. And we'll be seeing everything with that later on, and seeing if any of these drivers have learnt from the GP2 division. Okay. Maybe the GP2 division knows that have shown them. So we've got all of this happening. Should be heading over to qualifying now. Weather can play a factor here. It can rain. When it does rain, well, we have something like happened last season in SFR. There's a mass collision, and Senna has just joined, but he will not be taking part in qualifying, which sucks for Senna. It really does. And I've just realised I haven't got any fresh water, so I'm just drinking like half a pint now. Oops. All right. Sun's looking particularly low here in Russia, so let's bring up every strategy we can and know what's happening here in Russia. Both dry sessions, says Ryan. Ah, brilliant. Brilliant, Glock. How you doing today, Glock? How you doing? They repaired your Toro Rosso all right after last week. Obviously, last week was not down to his fault. We see a Red Bull moving, and I assume that's going to be Nick. Nick is the new... No, it's Jesse. Jesse is the first car on track, is it? No, sorry, that was... now Jesse's on track, but there's someone else ahead of him. We do have a new driver tonight, and that's in the form of Nick, who's in the Red Bull. Which is going to be nice and fun to see what he can do. He's still in his garage right now. Lots of movement here, as I believe that was Bocker that came out on track. No? Who came out on track? Lee? No. Oh, it's Josh. Josh is the first man on track here in SFR. Round 7 around in Russia. Then it's I assume it's going to be Fotio. So the number 6 Williams skirting around on the Hypersoft tyres. Take a sip of my lackluster water. Alright, I've got to really edge that to the end because I don't have any new water because I was a little bit late again. I was in the shower, if you must ask. If you must ask? Asked? Yeah, you must asked. I believe it as the youth would say. I don't speak youth, I'm old. Vin Blank has joined as well, so he'll be not participating in qualifying. He'll be hopefully just filling in the race. So you see Josh weaving to warm up his tyres. So everyone feeling very excited for this race. This is Russia, obviously. I can gush as much as I like about Russia. It's such a good track. I love driving it. I love racing it. We had a lovely wet session. I really urge you guys to go look at last season's race because that's when we first discovered the drivers can no stop in the wet, which was fantastic. We saw Cliffy and Nikos. Who was it? Oh, I can't remember the name of the Season 2 champion, which makes me feel bad. Come on, whoever's in the Williams, says pleasure. Well, that is Josh. He was a contender for the championship in Season 2, but lost out inevitably to a Mercedes. I really need to remember who that guy was. That's terrible. A pundit who doesn't even know who the champion is. Oops. That reigning champion will not be taking part in SFR anyway. He left under grounds of having to find a new place to race. Anyway, so Josh coming through the longest corner in Formula 1, then hard on the brakes here. We saw many action moves here in Hamilton. Josh is back. Yeah, Josh is back once more as a reserve in SFR. He has not got a full-time drive, so he's just staying as a reserve for now. Lots of things happening right now. Hamilton putting his normal emojis in the... I don't know. Just seeing a lot of things popping up on my phone, sorry. So Josh coming through here. I think it's great that we're live. No one's picking up the fact that we weren't live yesterday. Good. We definitely were live yesterday. That video was definitely not uploaded after the race. Now in comes into this tight corner where we saw Carlos Sainz have a 42G crash in 2015. That crash was horrendous, but he walked away unscathed, well, except for dizziness in the race. Now through the corner where we saw a few accidents in GP2, but hopefully as I punch my microphone, hopefully that's all going to be rectified with these guys. 14 drivers. It's going to be entertaining here in Russia. Josh is coming around to finish his lap, and he goes faster with a 1:30.4. Here is Fotio. Can Fotio do anything to battle him? He's coming around the final corner, crossing the line. He goes second at 1:31.5. And then it's all seasons open. Jesse pulls in Orchard David. It's a 1:34.1. So quite a margin off everyone else on the soft tyres. Here's Ibrahim, the Season 1 champion. Season 1 champion comes around the final corner now. A little bit of a lock-up as he's trying to get it turned in. Crossing the line. It's a 1:32.5. So Josh already in a class of his own by almost a full second ahead of everyone else. Here's Nikos, who's just come through his lap Mercedes drama and able to join us tonight. Here's Nick, the new driver in Red Bull, aiming to impress on debut, replacing trying to think who was in that Red Bull last time. Sam goes second though with a 32.0. We saw the Red Bull team struggle last time out in Singapore. Nowak, that's it, Lee. I knew it was I want to say Nikos. Nowak is the Season 2 champion. I'm genuinely blonde right now. I cannot remember names whatsoever. But Nowak is the Season 2 champion. So we had Ibrahim, who's Season 1 champion. Nowak, who's Season 2 champion. Now we're going to have two champions this season of who's going to be champion, who not knows. Right now, Nikos is looking very far ahead in the championship by quite a margin. But not a margin that is unbeatable right now. So we could see a Ferrari champion. And right now, it's Sauber on top in where are we? Sauber on top in GP2. I cannot remember words today, honestly. It's been horrendous today. I can't remember how to speak. Here's Stam. 2 GFOs here. We've got Stam and Nikos, two two genuinely fun drivers, two genuinely nice guys as well. Tell you what, guys, if you look back at the Season 2 race here in Russia, you'll actually see me racing in my Haas, which is ironic seeing as I showed off there. Nikos for president. See Glock coming in, just crossing the line, getting it slowed down to a nice 50 mile an hour and gets it 37 miles an hour. So I think he's sped in a little bit there, but it's all right. It's a 37 miles an hour speed limit here. Here's Bocca about to cross the line. Bocca Berserk crosses the line and is to start his lap now. We'll just wait. If Connor, you are here, just give us a note. Here's Lee qualifying because he can. So Lee, who he seemed to struggle last week in where are we? In last week, this week he seemed to struggle this week in SFR, so he's come to Premier to try and work out some of the issues in his car, but he is obviously going to be, as you see, someone improve. Who was that? That's Tuzmus to P5. Everyone knows I've got a nice soft spot for that, but the Sauber's looking very close together. Who is not? Obviously, penalties is going to be a high factor here as we're waiting for my co-coms to rejoin me. That's Josh just coming out on track, weaving a little bit in the pit lane. All okay though, as long as he doesn't cross that white line. Here's Bocca once more, and Jesse Tony. No, who was that? Yeah, it was Jesse, sorry. Jesse goes up to P4, improving on laps. Remember, different tyre choices, the ones watching. Oh, big lock up there for Bocca. Bocca's gone wide and he has a broken front wing. He is avoided now. Lee, who's on his lap. Let's go back up to Lee, who's on the hypersoft tyres. Lee is coming down. Bocca, that lock-up just completely screwed him there. Oh, thank you, Vasilius. Here's Lee coming round the final couple of corners. Look at that, the 72 Williams. Actually, this is the Season 1 pairings we had in Williams. And that's quite a throwback there to have Josh and Lee in those cars again together. This could potentially be the last time that they're ever in the cars together, as Lee improves to P7 on the hypersoft P4, sorry, on the hypersoft tyres. But still, he's very close to Sam. That is phenomenal how close they are. We got Glock once again on a lap, giving Glock as much airtime as possible. He's just on his outlap now, the 95 car. And Tuzmus has been given a 5-place grid drop for a collision with Jesse Tony. What on earth has gone on there? Number 1 Red Bull has made contact with Tuzmus. And I'm sure, I tell you what, if Tuzmus was on an in-lap, and Jesse was as well, or Jesse was just racing him to get to the pits quicker, that can be taken as stewards and we can look at it for driver's conduct. But I mean, there should be no way. He should not be making contact, and that is going to really hurt Tuzmus's chances. He's currently P7, so P8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He'd be down in P12, which is it's horrendous, that accident. I'd like to get a line into Tuzmus to find out what happened there. But I don't think we'll bother him when he's in the car. Here's Stam just starting his lap on his hypersoft tyres, aiming to get a lap in. That's what the bottom 4 have got to do right now. They've got to set their laps actually up. We've got Medium Pilot, who's also on a lap. He's incredibly quick. He's just winding up to start his lap. Greetings from GFO. Welcome, my friend. Welcome indeed to SFR. Greetings from SFR. Lots of drivers here. Lots of potential for overtakes at this track. This track is absolutely brilliant. Obviously, when Connor comes in, he'll give me more of a driver's eye view because I haven't raced at Russia since Season 2 in SFR. Connor, who raced last night, will know a lot more. Nikos has my vote for president, says GFO. Well, you know what? Everyone's going to get Nikos' vote because everyone loves Nikos. She's finishing at 9. Oh. So, we could see Lee actually racing in this in the series. That'd be great to see Lee. We're currently looking at Medium Pilot just coming through his lap. So, Lee will hopefully be performing to the best of his ability to match it. I quite like this, to see the Season 1 pairings once again back together. And to see Ibrahim back on track with these guys. It's always fun. Always fun. I'm gushing again about SFR. I'm very proud of my home. So looking at medium pilot right now as Nikos goes flying up to second there, and was it second? Oh, sorry, it might have been Fotio actually. Yeah, Fotio was there, but Josh goes even quicker. Don't know when that was. A 1:29.9. Well, I mean, now Glock gets a good move in, but not quick enough to beat Josh. Still looking at medium pilot. Medium pilot is normally fast as he's coming down into the large braking zone, getting it all lined up under the Fanicate logo. Now heading up the run, up towards the twisty bit. This bit has low traction all the time, even in the dry. Now up towards the line. He has a car ahead of him. That is Bocca. Bocca's teammate is not qualifying. He's going to sit there and watch. He must be feeling it. Hopefully he gets put in the right car. Not sure Senna will be scoring points for Force India anyway. Very wide goes Pilot. Pilot goes even quicker though with a 29.3. What a lap there for medium Pilot. I thought it was all gone in that final corner there. I thought it was all done. Oh, thank you. You're making me blush. Stop being nice to me. I'm a commentator. You're not meant to be nice to me. You're meant to sound terrible, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's Nick. Nick trying to come through the Frenchman, trying to improve on that. Frenchman in the Red Bull. Actually, that's funny. We had 2 Frenchmen in the Red Bull. We could have had the potential of having 2 Frenchmen in Red Bulls. No, we could have with Jean-Eric Verne and possibly. Very wide again. That's P5, and Nikos is gone in sector 3. I don't know if we got a car in sector 3 to find out what's happened. Oh, we do. We have Abraham who's off track, and that's a big hit there for Fotio. Or is Fotio waiting? Where are the yellow flags? Oh, that's Nikos. That's why he's on the inside. So let's just stick on board with Sam quickly. Sam the Spaniard. Spain Sam. And there should be a Ferrari buried in that wall. Yeah, there it is. So Nikos has got it wrong. The championship leader has got it wrong and barrel rolled into the wall. And that is a horrendous accident there. You see, whoa! Fotio not looking in his mirrors there as he's coming into the pits. What a defensive move there. And Sam, there'll be words in the chat there. It's like, look in your mirrors, but Sam doing a brilliant job not to hit him. Whoa, making me work for it tonight. We've not even gotten to the race. Alrighty then. So we should be getting I think we got Lee, who's now on a lap on the ultra soft tyres. Can he improve on these tyres? I'm not sure. You know, I'm actually trying to learn Russian as well. I was going to try and learn some more for the start of this Grand Prix, but I didn't have time to learn enough or to even memorise it, to learn like the basics. Hello and that. I know Das Vidania's goodbye. That's about it. But I was trying to learn it, and I'm going to try and learn a bit of the local language whenever we go to places. So I'm going to learn a bit of Japanese for next week, which should be fun actually. But also I probably butcher it because you hear my posh accent. I'm a little bit posh when it comes to racing. So yes, we're looking at Lee now on the ultra tyres. He's the only car on track. Lionel, who is a championship contender in the GP2 division. He's looking to he's had a strong like second half of the season from Belgium onwards. But Lee likes to test his hand in Premier Dry Races. Abraham, hello Abraham, how you doing, mate? Yes, it is looking very fun. And Lee coming into the pits, just trying to test his way out on these ultra soft tyres. There we go. Lee resting his head on the side as he comes into the pits. See a car moving in the foreground. I think that looks very pink to me. That looks slightly pink. So let's have a look at Bocca. Oh, Bocca's already out on track, so it's someone else. Must have been a Red Bull then. I just got a message from my friend now. I love that. She said, "Psst, are you still on?" I'm just going to say, "Hey, I'm live." Okay, so looking at Bocca as I'm texting completely unfit. We got a penalty because Jesse spun out and I touched him with my nose. Oh man, Leo, that sucks. Glad to see you listen to the streams over. That sucks, Leo. And we hear Connor just rushing into the commentary box. You got your suit on?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Is your voice set to share?
Longer than I wanted to.
Is your voice set to share though?
Should be. Just let me give it a quick check.
Alright. So. Thank you, GG Codemaster, says Leo. Well, that's Codemasters for you, mate. Lots of messy things have happened in this qualifying session so far. Ooh.
I want to see what tyres people are using.
Yeah, lots of tyre choice. We will mention more about the tyres as we come onto the formation lap. We'll make the decisions first. But just to bring you up to speed, mate, Nikos, championship leader, has just battered it into the wall. Abraham is covering for Mixilius Drama tonight. Josh is taking the GP2 reserve seat because no GP2 driver wanted to come in. Lee is driving tonight. Tuzmus has a 5-place grid drop for contact with Fotio when Fotio span out and Tuzmus had nowhere to go. But he didn't cause any damage to either car, he just touched him with his nose.
That's fair enough then. I'm just seeing the 2 guys that are on the soft tyres. I just hope that plans out for them well in the race. Definitely at the start, they're going to be near the back of the grid. But if they can go more than 20 laps on the softs, and it is possible, you'll probably be seeing at the end of the race the fastest laps from maybe the 2 Southers. But on paper, at least, I'd say they should get a fair few amount of points.
It definitely was, as we saw last night in GP2. We saw 2 guys who took the soft tyres as long as they possibly could, and 1 guy bailed out of it. I mean, GP2 last night, you had a stonking race, didn't you? Wasn't it P6 you finished?
Yeah.
And you had a mass contact with a Haas, didn't you?
Yeah. Just following Jesse, he just went through the turn where I binned it. I'll tell you what though, the reason why tyres is such a big issue around Russia is it's not necessarily the tyre life, because the ultras and the hypers are actually almost equal on the distance into the race they can go. It's because there's so many 90-degree corners, it's the launches you need to get out of the corners, and if come the race, compared to qualifying, the cars are so much lighter, and you don't realise that you're trying to thrust an extra 50 kilos of car coming out of these corners, and especially the guys running low traction settings, it's killer on the rear tyres. You just overheat them, you boil them, so you ruin your tyre condition, but not necessarily your tyre life.
Yeah, we saw that temperatures will get very hot here as medium pilot, and qualifying's over right now. Lee's retired in P10, Tuzmus is in P12, but that will be the back of the grid behind even the non-qualifying drivers that have come in, Senna and Vimbank. But as you said, tyres, you gotta watch those rear tyres here as Glock retires in P3. Glock who had a big accident, but right now is Josh able to beat medium pilots at the line. I don't know if it's possible or not. It doesn't look like it will be. No, Josh bails into pit lane, so medium pilot will be our pole sitter, bearing in mind we got a couple of drivers. Orchard Davis into the pit lane. Bocker is out on track, who's going very slowly. Abraham's 2 tenths down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to up him up into the mid-range of the top 10, but I don't think it's going to put him into pole position contention. Pole position is about to slip away in 2-1. There it goes. Where's pole position? Oh, it's very wrong, but it's P6 for Abraham. Woo! Making me squirm for it there. Where's Fotio going to go though? He's going very wide. He's bailed it into the wall. So that means our pole sitter is going to be medium pilot, who is not on track.
Nothing more satisfying than getting pole position while sat in the garage.
Well, Mercedes normally do that, and Mercedes looking very strong. Should be interesting to see what happens come the race. Remember, it is going to be a long race here, though it's a fun one as well.
Yeah, all I'd say is to the guys, just please be careful we'll run down to turn 2.
Yep, and you went here for season 2. Oh, you may have just been here for the start of it. Bocker lagging horrendously in the pit lane, but in season 2 here, it was obviously the 4th race, being it down to as it was the old calendar where Russia was. There was a mass collision caused by Humbug, who went to the back of someone. Then most of the field, apart from the top 3, got completely annihilated, including myself. I got I got pinned between Gaming Things' Force India and the wall, and I ended up going in the air and took my front wing off. It was a horrendous accident. So that is obviously possible here, but then it was wet, so you know that happens.
I think I remember hearing about that. I just don't think I've ever seen it.
There is a video there. There is a video somewhere. Ryan, who is Glock, saying that he's 1 second faster as well. Let's have a look, because there's a medium pilot on P1 ahead of VSR Josh in P2. Glock is in P3 and Nikos is in P4. Nick, the debut driver, is in P5 and Abraham is in P6. Sam is in P7 and Stam is in P8. Photo is in P9 and Jesse Tony completes the top 10. Out of the top 10 is Linel, Tuzmoose, Orchard David, Bocker, and then we got Vim Blank and Senna to come in, and we'll see what they can do as well in their cars with no setup as well. That's going to be difficult for them, isn't it?
Definitely in terms of transmission settings and actually suspension settings as well. You don't realise it, but you need a very finely balanced car, so expect the guys that have just come in, they will suffer horrendously with understeer, especially with these heavy cars at the start of the race.
See, Connor is our resident technical expert with the cars as we're going into, it's an evening race here tonight. Not official time settings then, so the sun is going to be blinding for half the corners, isn't it?
Heading down some Black Sea, you just got the sun staring in your face. When you exit turn 4 and you're looking at the harbour and you've got the sun in your eyes, it's just, it's horrible.
Well, this obviously, as you said, is in the Black Sea. When they first did the Russian Grand Prix, when they first announced that it was coming out, I remember exactly where I was. I was in my dad's lounge because I was building a remote control car. And my dad and me at the same time, when they mentioned it, we both went, I wonder if it'll be in the snow.
I swear there was a lot of talk about that. I think a lot of people like Russia Grand Prix, and the first thing you think is like, where in Russia is it going to be on average 20-something degrees to be on the average temperature with the rest of the European tracks? But then when it's like it's going to be in Sochi, okay, home of the Winter Olympics, F1 cars are going to need ice tyres.
Well, they've done it well actually, haven't they? I do like this circuit a lot.
It's alright. I think it's only got a bit of stick on the TV because we've not had that many thrilling races, but I don't really think that's down to the track. I think the track itself is fine, because all these online races, and I've seen other league races, they've been pretty decent around Russia. They just haven't happened in real life.
So let's go through the full grid now. We have medium pilot in P1 and then Josh in P2, Glock is in P3 and Nikos is in P4, Nick is in P5 and Abraham is in P6, Sam is in P7 and he's the head in the Hash's charge. In P8 is Stam. Then there's Photo in P9 but he's been disqualified, and then there's Jesse in P10. Lee is in P11 and Tuzmoose is in P12. Well, didn't have a place penalty. Okay, George David would be in P13, but he's not there. And then Bocker is in P14. Vim Blank seems to have left, so we only have Senna. All of Senna's points tonight in the Mercedes car will be going to Force India. I have to do all of these lines. I always have to say them. I've got like a collection of lines I'm going to say in a certain way for different situations.
I just wing it and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I went to the BBC yesterday. I spent time at the BBC place in Birmingham, and it's interesting to see all of these different things and how I was there like, oh, I do all of this and I don't have a teleprompter, I don't have a million people to help, I do it all by myself. Suck it, BBC. No, please hire me. Please don't fire.
Get a career direction at some point.
Oh yeah. To be fair though, I'd love to do this in real life. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean. Please, Sky Sports.
I don't know if I'd love the TV side of it, but anything related to F1, I guess, for any Formula 1 fan would be decent.
Well, I don't mind TV, so we're going to go to 5 red lights here in a dying light of Sochi. The lights are out, the drivers are away now, and it's a good start from medium pilot in P1. It seems Josh has had a bit of a shocker, but not as bad as Glock, who's going to be passed by Nikos, or attempt to on the run down to T2. Look at this, all these cars charging through. Medium pilot trying to defend from one side to the other, then pulls it back across, and everyone charging through. Going to make sure that everyone gets through turn 1 all right. There is a car around. Who is that? A Stam contact with Abraham. Abraham has been sent into the fray. A Ferrari crashing, almost crashing at Sochi. Who knows that?
Oh, the two Hasses getting really side by side.
Oh, there's going to be contact again if they're not careful. Sam almost hitting the back of that. Let's have a look at Bocca. Bocca is trying to pass Jesse Tony on lap 1. Now he's going to run down the inside. Jesse trying to defend as best he can, but it's not going to happen. This corner is very difficult to get right, and Bocca's nailed it.
Bit of a scrappy start from everyone. I'm a little bit surprised at the amount of wing damage that happened around turn 3. The two Hasses completely side by side, one of them being forced off the road, and then Force India getting a good run on the Red Bull, which I think by now he's been able to pull it off.
He definitely has. Now we're looking back at the top 2 tenths separating P1 and P2. That's Josh, but then there's Glock flying back afterwards. Glock, who is traditionally strong in the race, has got to make moves fast on those hypersoft tyres. He's got to get past these guys and defend from the current championship leader. But we're looking at Josh, who's losing a bit of ground. Sector 3, we have a yellow flag. If you've got any eyes on that, just tell me. It's Tuzmus!
Tuzmus span.
There's Senna, who's losing positions, and then there you see one Haas in. Is Sam coming in? Sam does not come in, and Abraham doesn't either. So that's a brave move for Abraham.
The Haas was definitely have to pit. I'm not sure whose game tag it was, but I think this is the Haas was broken from point.
Yep. Oh god, 2 Saubers in the pit lane, mate. 2 Saubers at once in the pits.
This might end up being a bit of a double step.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Jesse Tony has passed Bocca again, and Bocca having to let him through because it seems there was a little bit of lag there from the Red Bull.
Only just. I think if the two Saubers time that pit stop, spot on.
You're kidding? Did they not double stack? Senna losing a position to Sam. These two fighting it out. Now they're side by side. Senna trying to prove his worth in the other cars as well as the Force India. He's been going a little bit wide, but Sam's able to get past Senna. And now Abraham's going to be thinking, right, I have to pass this guy quickly. Fotio is now trying to move on Bocca, but it isn't happening so far. It seems Bocca having a great chance at defending here, and he's got Lee right up behind him. Lee on the ultra soft tyres is just going to watch, but Fotio pulls to the inside, which is going to. This is the outside, which is going to turn into the inside for this corner. Oh, that Force India is looking very movable. This is all okay. Oh, absolutely mental right now.
You want to be pushing hard to defend and gain as many positions as you can at this point, but remember, not too hard. These are very different cars to handle at race pace.
Lee's getting the run, but Fotio and Bocca completely blocking the track. Lee just can't go anywhere. He wants to get through, but he can't. Nikos has passed Glock on the run down to turn 3. It seems that, and now look at that. Here comes Nick as well. Nick, who's gonna make a double overtake if he's lucky. DRS has not been enabled on these. Oh, DRS has been enabled. Sorry. Now down the inside is Nick. Has he made it 2 and 1? He has not. Nikos has managed to do it now. Rue, the longest corner in Formula 1. Look at that, you've got to stay online. You'll lose so much time going offline here, won't you, Connor?
That's fingertip stuff going on. You need to hold that apex as close as you can, carry the speed. Jeez! To run wide.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, but Nick got very close to that wall, and it genuinely made me jump.
A little bit closer to the light. I'm just a little bit concerned about all these drivers that are slowly starting to slide around like we saw in the GP2 race.
It was very slidey towards this point in the race, and now you see Bocca has lost the position. He has a stop and go penalty now for corner cutting. Now Nick is going to have DRS on Nikos, so the Frenchman is going to try and line up the Greek. I don't think that Red Bull's going to have enough power though to pass him yet.
Nah, not close enough. I think he'll need a good run through this third sector.
On board with Scott.
Oh, he's sliding again.
Who is that? Was that Nick?
Yeah.
I think Bocca might have wing damage judging by the way he's driving. He's lost a lot of positions right now. He's losing one to Senna. I think there's wing damage on that Force India. Yeah, there's horrendous wing damage, and he's lost right front gubbins. Now Jesse Tony pulls into the pit lane for the first stop. Well, the first actual stop without damage. Oh, and another 5-second stop and go for Bocca. What is happening here?
I just feel sorry because I feel that all these people on the hypersofts that are pitting, it is not the strategy that they had in mind.
Well, let's have a look up at the top because it looks like Josh is very close to the back of medium pilot. These two very close together. And it seems that, whoa, I think even Josh is struggling with his amazing car control. He's struggling on these tyres as well. And it seems, whoa, another slide there. You don't want to touch the curbs on these tyres, do you?
No, not only that, but it's so the curbs around Russia are actually quite harsh. They can really unsettle the car.
Well, now it's going to get interesting. Josh has DRS open. The Williams is closing on the Mercedes. Williams, who have known a lot of success in SFR, down the inside. It's a dive bomb, and it has not. Well, it's paid off a bit, but it hasn't paid off as much as he wants.
Ooh,
Medium pilot. Yeah, got a better exit. Did not anticipate that much of an exit, though, did he?
No, I don't think the Mercedes did either.
Lionel and Fotio are fighting, but we're going to keep a look on this. Josh, is getting very frustrated for the back of that Mercedes. He knows he's quicker than him. Medium pilot seems to be a lot quicker on the straights, but with that DRS assistance, it seems that Josh is just hanging in there.
Very sensible driving by Josh there. He knows not to be greedy. He's taking his time, being patient. He knows when he can get it done. So there's no point in fighting in the third sector. You can just have a clean DRS run.
Now Medium Pilot is the man on attack as Josh now pulls into the lead now, and Medium Pilot has got his eyes on getting back that lead. He started from pole. He wants to have pole again. He wants to win, sorry. Oh, that's a big slide from Josh.
It's just a bit weird how I was watching the Williams overtake Mercedes, and I swear the Mercedes, no, he's not. He's just starting to drop back a little bit. I think at this point you'd be starting to conserve your tyres, because I never touched the Hypersofts. I don't know.
His ERS mode's on 0, I think.
Yeah,
Medium Pilot.
Be on a recharge lap.
Okay, getting very interesting now. Josh is going to try and storm into the distance with this information that we're on a recharge lap, and it's all going to get very interesting as we head further into the Grand Prix as night looks like to be falling. There we go. Look at the sun here as we're coming down into the harsh braking zone. You need to be able to see the track, and that's going to be very difficult to see the track through there.
The shadows, like, I don't know if anyone else uses shadows as braking points. I'm one that does, but these different, like, afternoon, dusk, evening settings, they all take away your braking zone, so it'll be something you need to get used to unless you have the racing line on.
Bocker has made a big mistake at the corner where we saw Nick almost go off, and I think he's done what Nick almost did, and he's ploughed himself into the wall, and now that is to force India out of the race.
Big shame for him and for India. And
safety car. The safety car is out here in Russia, which has just completely ruined any chance Josh had. He was just sitting there, yes, I'm in first, and the safety car, no, come on!
I think this has played more into the favour of Medium Pilot, because if he was on more of a recharge, like he can obviously recharge everything now, but if he was running in lean fuel, he's now able to save his fuel and attack Josh later in the race. But you've got to watch for the pit stop at this point. This isn't the end of the Hypersoft tyre life, but at this point on lap 6, you're going to be feeling the wear just starting to kick in, so you'll be seeing a lot of tail happy action.
Well,
it's right, because the safety car, if it's going to be out for maybe 3 or 4 laps, you're going to need to time your pit stop right, because you could take the softs to the end at this point. It is possible to take the softs to the end up by lap 6.
Would you pit at this point? I would, as Fotio's looking very slow. You did?
Yeah.
Yes, you did, sorry.
Yes,
you did, right, sorry. Yeah, you did, because you would have Fotio, who looks to be not managing his delta as much as you could. Remember, what you want to do, you don't want to like store up a second in your battery. You want to actually try and manage it as best you can, because then you're faster rather than just storing up a second. So Josh, Josh is making it very obvious that he's coming into the pit lane. I think Medium Pilot is going to follow him through. What's Nikos doing? Nikos is in as well. Nick is coming in. Yeah. I think this plays all into Lee Nell's hand, who's currently the lead driver on the Hypersoft tyres. Oh no, Lee's coming in too. Everyone is coming in.
He's in the ultras. Well, you might as well take a new set of boots while you can. Oh, he bails out of it.
Lee's bailed out, is he?
Bailed out of it. Yeah,
oh, he saw his teammate came in. Oh no, yeah, he saw his teammates in, which is Josh, and he thought, no, I can't do it. Or maybe he took the wrong decision. But Lee is now going to be leading his first ever laps in Premier, and there's also laps in action is going to get us very very interesting.
I'm just trying to remember, there was a driver who was already on the soft tyres. This will play into their hands because they might be able to do a few more laps, not at racing speed.
Senna's gone. Senna has left the session. Is that disconnection, or is that he just decided he doesn't want to race? Which really means, Senna, if you are listening, mate, if you don't want to race anymore, please come back in and retire your car properly, because we don't want to have that ghosted car going around. Ibrahim, who pitted under the first stage of the safety car, hasn't really gone where he would want to have been. So let's just go up. Look at this. Right now, it is a Williams 1-2. And if you remember rightly, this is the Williams pairing from Season 1, Josh and Lee. These two work well together, but it's amazing to see them on track again. And I assume Lee is going to just go. I assume there'll be words from Rob Smedley saying, "Hey, you know what, Lee? Don't hold up Josh."
I think I called it as the guys towards the end of the pit. Sorry, not pit. The guys at the end of the grid and the guys that had just joined in through qualifying. All those guys that were on the soft tyres are definitely. Yeah, anyone who's pitted on the softs now will definitely be able to go to the end. I'm just a little bit worried about Orchard because he's already on 5-lap-old softs. At this point, the softs will not make it to the end. Or if anyone had pitted before lap 4 for soft tyres, you're going to need to think your strategy through. But at least if you want to pit again, you'll be able to push the softs as hard as you want.
Nick getting very out of shape under the safety car. You never want to see someone make a mistake under the safety car, but he has. But he's alright, there's no damage on that car. So we're still under safety car conditions here in Russia after Bocca's big crash. That's probably the most sensible safety car this game has ever brought out, I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I barely see any safety car in online races, let alone league races.
Whoa, what's happening here? They're going increasingly slower here. Remember, guys, you have to stay within 10 car lengths of everyone, and you don't want to go too slow. You can warm up your tyres, yes, but you don't want to get too slow to the point that you're making contact with people.
Yeah, I think the top 3 are actually a little bit too close for comfort.
I think the thing is, Lee can't go any quicker. That safety car's very slow. Josh is right up behind him. Look at that. Lee is genuinely doing Hamilton. He's like, come on, speed up!
Don't blame him.
Jesse and Fotio, what's happening here? Those two are... It's almost like they're racing half the time. Remember, guys, stay in formation. There are big words on your dash in whatever language you speak. Normally for me, it's Jeff going, for God's sake, stop crashing! As I almost dropped my controller. Lee is completely shadowing that safety car. Look at that.
I've just noticed that the cars that are front of the grid, because the safety car is going the speed it is, the top 3 are already bunched up as much as they can, but the rest of the grid's getting incredibly bunched up. I think I'm on board with Jesse right now. I can see the top 7 all in the same shot.
I'm just looking at Josh, right? Sorry, at Lee. In the corners, they're going sub 100 miles an hour with that car. Like 52 miles an hour onto the DRS straight.
They might want to start getting some temperature into those tyres.
Yeah, we should be getting ready to go green anytime soon. I think we got either this is a lap or one more lap, judging by the way that safety car is pulling away. There it is. Safety car is in this lap. Lee will control us on the restart. Will there be instant words? Josh is faster than you. Or will Lee just go, no. Boom! Just disappear. Remember, you can't race until the first safety car line, until the green flags are waving. Lee can drop at any time he wants. We're about to go back to green flag racing here in Sochi. Look how close together they are. Where is that safety car? Lee is gonna boot it. He's gone. There it is. No, is it? Oh, he's teasing us. There, DRS has been enabled. No, green flag racing is back on though. There's a big start, and Lee already knowing what he's doing. He's flying away from the field. Nikos has been caught by Jesse. Senna has dropped a few positions, but he's not racing at all. And now, is there going to be the word? Is Medium Pilot going to get close enough to Josh? Remember, DRS is not enabled until the next couple of laps. Everybody's staking down towards the next corner. Nikos is back ahead of Jesse. Nikos has cut the corner though pretty dramatically. Does he need to hand that back? Possibly. Now side by side, Glock and Fotio. Oh, Fotio's round and Glock's been tangled with him, but Glock is still going. What a marvel that neither of them have got damage there. Oh, Nick, very close to that wall again. Down the inside goes Glock, and Fotio just turning in on him, knowing he was there, just turned in. Now side by side once more. Oh!
Pay more attention to the track limits.
Is he struggling with those track limits, is he?
He's not purposely track extending, it's just he's nearly put it in the wall in the last 3 corners.
Josh has passed Lee for the lead, so there must have been that call from the crew saying get through and block Pilot. Pilot now trying to go down the inside. Is Lee going to lose 2 positions? He has right now. Lee's going to try and defend. Is Lee going to have the run? He does have the run on Pilot. Pilot though trying to go round the outside. Oh, they're tyre banging quite heavily. And then you see Nikos right up behind Lee. Lee is just... Oh, look at that. Look at Jesse. Jesse's trying his hardest as well. But now Lee, right up behind Pilot, is going to think, I have to get through now and win. Well, win? You have to get through now and keep going. Nick has lost a position to Fotio now. Nick, is Nick in the wall, mate?
Nick is... I think he just had a few bad exits in the 3rd sector.
Well, here we go. Josh's teammate Lee, the moving chicane, is about to try and be passed by Nikos, but that moving chicane is very fast and very difficult. And already Josh, sorry, I'm so used to saying Lee, has got a 1 second gap to everyone else. Here's Glock. Glock is getting frustrated behind the back of that Renault. He's going to try and stuff it up the inside. The Renault right, oh, they in contact once more, and Glock's getting more and more frustrated. You can tell by his driving style. The car is getting much more rigid as he's aggressively slicing it across, and he has finally passed Fotio, including a lockup. Fotio is going to try and get the run back on him. Just shout if you see anything, mate. Oh, Fotio down the inside. Oh, that's an aggressive move from Fotio. That's an aggressive move, and really he should hand that back because he did knock Glock over. And Glock is now struggling on his tyres.
I am on board with Nikos at the moment. I'm just watching him having a little bit of a scrap with Lee.
Well, now everyone's getting close together. Glock, I think Glock is getting more and more frustrated with Fotio's driving style there. Fotio was very chucky up the inside and pray that you don't hit. Lots of drivers getting... Go on.
Need to come in soon to change for tyres, at least within the next 3 laps. I know the Ultras will go further than the Hypers, but this is just a bit silly now. It's not the best strategy for him. I don't blame him for getting out of the way for Josh, even if it's any hope of the Williams for the win.
So Stam has pulled into the pit lane now, and Lee is going to be under pressure from the Red Bull. Red Bull with the DRS wide open. He's going to pull to the inside, or attempt to, and Fotio is right up behind him. Fotio almost missing his braking point, going into the back of him, and I think Glock at this point is thinking, God's sake, why am I still behind him? Ooh, big oversteer there for Jesse Tony as he tries to get past Lee.
A little bit of snake on the exit of turn 4 as well.
Now Glock trying to go down the inside of Fotio in the background. I think that's almost well deserved for the way that Fotio was braking, was turning into him. Fotio needs to remember that if there's a car on side, you need to leave a gap. There's enough track on the outside. I know you're on the racing line, but there's enough track.
That was on the line of being hard but fair.
Oh, look at that! Red Bull way off. That's Jesse. Whoa! Ooh, that's very close between Jesse and Glock. Now Glock is going to have DRS on Jesse, and these two have to pass Jesse, who has a time penalty now. And Jesse is losing positions hand over fist. Here comes Fotio. Fotio around the outside. He has made the move stick. Is he going to chuck it on the inside of Glock? He has chucked it on the inside of Glock. This is getting very hard but fair between the two of these guys. He's got the exit on it.
Needs to calm down.
Glock has damage. Oh, that's silly.
Nearly 3-car pilot. He's on a different tyre strategy. The guys in the Ultras are clearly going to be faster. He just needs to calm down, have his little moment of consistency, and it will pay off in about 15 laps time.
It's a little bit silly for Jesse to stuff it up the inside. He's a very quick driver, yes, but you need to remember that tyres are different everywhere. And I found out Glock has damage, so that's not snaking there from the Renault. But obviously Glock not entirely innocent in everything, but that damage on that Renault is gonna on that Toro Rosso is gonna be affecting him greatly. And drivers, medium pilot has been passed by Nikos. Nikos cut the corner, so maybe he should hand that back. Now back up with Fotio. These two battle 972. Real Red Bulls are suffering, and I wonder, I want to just put it out there, maybe Jesse's setup has reset itself, because he's struggling everywhere.
Or maybe worst case scenario, he's overheating his soft tyres from trying to battle people that are on softer tyres than him.
That might be a good shout there. We're gonna keep looking. Medium Pilot is closing up on Nikos, though he's still there. But remember, tyres are different on both cars there. Fotio is losing positions. Go on. What was that?
Both. I've just noticed that both Red Bulls are just not having the best of race. I think they're pushing too hard and they're going. Both Red Bulls are going way too close to the wall for comfort. If the moment we get to the end of the race and real tyre wear kicks in, yeah, you might as well flip a coin on who's going to bin it in the wall first.
I mean, it's harsh but true, to be fair there, isn't it? It really is harsh but true. So now you're seeing everyone getting very close together. I'm getting messages in the admin chat now. I don't know what that's about. Glock is under pressure from Fotio. Fotio, who is fast, but I don't know if he's going to have the pace to pass Glock. These two have been battling heavily. I know we've been focusing on these guys, but these guys are the closest guys on track now. Going down the inside at turn 2 is Fotio. He's going to try it, and that's Jesse. That's the wrong way. And Glock looks to still be ahead. Glock covering the inside as best he can through the longest corner in Formula 1. I love saying that. And Fotio is going to open the steering and absolutely chuck it up the inside. No, he hasn't. That move was just a disaster course there, wasn't it, if he had done that? Because you saw that Glock was not going to move his line.
Yeah, it was very steady driving from Fotio.
I think Fotio's like taking a moment, going, okay, I've been a little bit mad. Time to calm down a bit. He did drop back from Glock. Maybe he has changed his driving style in the last couple of laps.
He's going to have to, unless they've looked and seen the tyre temperatures and the tyre wear.
Glock having a 3-second time penalty added to his time at the end of this Grand Prix. Let's go on board with Ibrahim, who's closing up to Orchard David. Well, that close up has just sort of disappeared as Ibrahim is just flown away on his tyres. Sorry, as Orchard David has flown away. Here's Jesse once more, who's closing up. Sorry, my brains are completely knocked in and started playing a song in my head, which is really aggravating because I don't want to listen to a song from the Pretty Woman musical while I'm commentating on racing cars. But I think Lienel's tyres are gone now. He should bail into pit lane. Look at that. He's just sliding around, and now Glock is right up behind him.
It depends what kind of strategy he's trying to go for. If he can get within maybe 2 more laps, he'll be able to take a set of hypersofts to the end.
We saw that last night. It was a risk that everyone was willing to take. Now Glock is going to try and make a move on that slightly wounded Williams, and it's the nice clean move. The big lockup though from the Toro Rosso, and it's going to now put a car between Glock and Fotio, and Glock's going to be thinking, oh, thank God for that.
But I imagine for Fotio this would be quite frustrating.
Well, really? Look at that!
Well, I don't know how much of a fight the Williams was going to be able to put up.
Lee went a little bit offline there, and then you see Jesse once again showing what offline really is. Nick is the other Red Bull. He's taken some time, and he's now the fastest man on track. In P13, but Jesse, who's when we mentioned going towards the wall, Jesse goes to a whole nother level, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm very surprised with how no Red Bull has crashed yet.
I mean, it's harsh but true, but at the same time, these guys have got an incredible car control if they can save it that well.
It's great to watch, but my God, do they need to calm down? Unless you've got the tyres to actually push it into burn, then you know you might as well just trundle around and take it easy for a little bit.
Speaking of taking it easy, I don't think Josh will be soon because his tyres are not the fastest tyres right now, and by the looks of it, Nikos is very fast. DRS open because under a second between the two leaders right now, and Nikos, who is championship leader, wants to pass and have another win, which will put him. He won last week, I want to say, ahead of yeah, he did. He won ahead of Mixilius Drama and Senna. And now he's looking for back-to-back wins in the Premier Division. As Lee drops past Jesse. Go on.
The thing is, with Josh's tyres at this point, the softs, 8 laps old, they shouldn't be feeling obviously any type of tyre wear, but this is where Josh will be getting his head down and just focusing on the race and getting ready for the endurance stint. This is his race, whether it be make or break, is now and until the end of the checkered flag.
His race really is with Medium Pilot, who's also on the same tyres, isn't he?
Yes, just depends if Nikos is going to try and hold him up as much as he can. It's not all over for Nikos though. Because of the tyres that he's on, the moment he feels a little bit of tyre wear from the ultras, yeah, he'll probably need to pit and go for a set of hypers. But when he does, he will be the fastest person on track unless if anyone else beats him to the hyper soft tyres. And clearly he will be faster than the guys on the soft, so it's still not over. I think the podium's definitely on the shout for him.
Well, we've got used to seeing Ferraris on the podium in SFR, and with a Ferrari leading, it's fantastic to see. Now, Josh is under pressure. A lot of ties, a lot of things have a... Senna has just said that he's not happy with the game, so he decided not to continue on. Well, he didn't retire his car in the proper position, but you know, who cares at this point? Josh is now under pressure from... Nikos, the Greek driver, is looking. Is he going to chuck it up the inside here? Surely not. Surely not.
Surely not.
He has.
He is.
What a move for the Ferrari!
What a move!
Just as that, Lee loses his position as well. What, that was Daniel... we're stunned into silence here. That was a Daniel Ricciardo-esque dive bomb there. And maybe it woke Josh up, because he's suddenly just gone, oh, hold on, I need to actually race someone. But there is a ghosted Mercedes ahead of it, so no points will go to Force India due to the fact that Senna has ghosted out. But, to tell you what, Nikos hasn't flown away from Josh. Josh might have just turned up his car a little bit just to go, hold on, you think you can do that to me? I'm going to catch up to you now.
Can't tell what mode he's in. I think he has DRS. He does.
Sector 2, we have a yellow flag. That's Jesse. And they'll move for the lead. No, is it? No, Josh been shafted off track. Jesse has trundled. It looks like finally a Red Bull has made contact with the wall. And Josh getting his first time penalty. And now Nikos has got to fly away, because look who's close behind. The race is now been lit back up by a red car who suddenly has gone, you know what? I want to pass someone. I think Josh has genuinely just woken up. I think that move was a big surprise to him, so he's thinking, oh, I've got to move now. I've got to actually race now.
I think he's more or less just trying to stay with him, because he should know that the Ferrari is going to be quicker on the ultra soft tyres.
Oh!
Within the next 3 laps, those ultra softs are going to start dying.
Well,
yeah.
Josh has pulled out. There is, I think Jesse's in the wall. I think Jesse, both Red Bulls have suffered finally. Whoa, big snap there for Josh. He's getting very touchy-feely. Yeah, I think Josh wasn't very happy with that dive bomb, so he's starting to perform the same way, and he's starting to get very close together to Nikos. He's very close, and this could be risk of reward here. Is he gonna get that, or is he gonna have to just start dropping back and start defending from Medium Pilot?
It's the tough one to make. Do you keep trying to battle for the win and just try and risk everything? But it's I'm just trying to think if he would actually cause a collision or maybe put it in the wall, because you don't want to be fighting too hard, otherwise you're both going to end up with nothing. And then you'll give it to the person that you really don't want to win the race.
So Josh is back through, and now Medium Pilot has gone, right, I'm going to come to play. He's piloting his Mercedes to try and go for the lead. He's got to get through Nikos first, but I don't know where to call it right now. Josh seems incredibly strong in the race right now, doesn't he?
I can't call it. I do expect Josh to go to the end. We've got about 10 laps left. The thing is, with Nikos, do you think the Ultrasofts can do 20 laps? I really doubt it.
I very much doubt it. Unless Nikos is on full traction.
No, not even with full traction. I don't think. No, it's not possible for the Ultras to do 20 laps around here.
Well, Lee's done.
15 first.
Lee did 17, and look at him. He's dropped down to P10.
Yeah, because with the tyre wear data, it doesn't need to be on 100 until you get a puncture. It just has to be over 80 or 75. So it's why I'm expecting. You can see it. The Ferrari slowly starting to fall back at this point. I would have said hit the lap before, go on a set of hypers. Yeah, Josh would pull away, but Josh would end up being slower on track pace compared to Nikos.
Right now, we have a tyre glitch on medium pilot. It's saying on the car he's on short tyres when he's actually on soft tyres. So he's going to try and pass him. But he's not exactly gaining on Nikos the same way Josh is he?
No. I'm just trying to, stranger, I'm trying to try and keep the gap, measure the gap between Josh and medium.
It's about, if you do distance to leader, that is 1.4 seconds. I'm not just good at maths, I just send the gap onto leader.
Sorry, I just had a shout from someone in my family, but I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one. I think you'd expect medium pilot to be keeping it with Josh, and I know that they're all in the same shot, but I'd expect them to be just that little bit closer, considering they're all on pretty much equal tyre performance to each other at this point.
Jesse Tony is round in the Red Bull, so the Red Bull's lucks seem to have run out at this point.
You push it hard enough, I think, yeah, both Red Bulls should just try and calm down and obviously try and get some points, but I think at this point they're actually quite far away from a top 10 finish.
They are quite far away. Medium pilot in the Mercedes is struggling to catch the Ferrari. We have a sector 3 yellow flag. I believe that is still they're coming up to it now, so we should see what that incident is. It's probably still Jesse on his overheated ultra soft tyres.
There's a slow moving Nick.
Really? Has Nick got a puncture or something?
He went he's going very, very slow. He's going 5th gear down the main straight.
Okay, very unsure what Nick's doing then. We'll have a look at that on stream. Was he might have been slowing down for his teammate, who's just completely a straight line T1, T3 even.
They might, I don't know if he's, oh my god, he's gone.
What?
Jesse's gone.
What are, that's a result of his overheated tyres, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the way he's driving.
Tires.
This is going to completely destroy the races for the leaders who are literally coming up behind him. These Red Bulls need to know that there's cars on track. Jesse's round. Jesse doing a good job not to get in the way there, but that might have just scared Nikos a little bit. What's that?
I don't. Nick's pulled way over onto the side. I don't know if he. Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to retire or not. He was that over to the track. Lots of
things happening here. I don't know what's happening as my YouTube's just crashed on my pad, so I can't see the stream. Lots of things happening, and I'm very confused right now. Let's have a look at Nick. He is still moving. There is no reason he would be moving that slowly. There's no like technical fault with that car.
I think they're trying to coast. Yeah, I can see it. Jess's tyres are completely gone. I think they're just trying to coast back to the pit lane.
I honestly have no words right now for what the Red Bull pairing's up to, but Nikos is getting clearly frustrated behind Josh. I've just realised I've lost the stream completely on my tablet, so I'm going to have to bring it up my phone. I do apologise if I'm missing any messages. I'll just let Connor take us through what's happening at the top.
Riding on board with Nikos, and he's going for it with Josh. Through turn 2, he's made the move. Josh fights him back on the entrance to turn 3. Pretty much side by side. Josh just has his nose ahead. And again, Nikos going for the dive bomb, and he's made it stick. Yeah, only just, but we've got Josh trying to come on the fight back. And they're side by side, and Mercedes of medium is so close behind the pair. Oh mate, this is the race you want to be watching now.
So we have it all loaded up. Now I have the stream back up so I can see anyone's messages. Josh's tyres are looking very, very slidey now. A medium pilot is right there. We're into the last stage of this Grand Prix. Nikos's tyres are going to start to feel it a bit, and both Red Bulls are in the pit lane. I think there's going to be words between them and Helmut Marko soon.
Yeah.
So
just need to have a good look and see where it went wrong. I think in hindsight they'll look back and realise that they were pushing far too hard at the beginning.
Orchard David is very close to Sam. If you could just have a look at that for me, Connor, while I take us through what's happening at the top. We'll continue that thought in a moment. Right now, Medium Pilot has got his eyes on Nikos, but there's still that slide that Medium Pilot just can't control as he's coming out towards the final couple of corners. And it seems that Nikos has just got that inevitably fine. On that initial run out the corner, he's fine, but after that he's struggling. But at this point, I think Medium Pilot is going to get through and pass him this lap.
Just right on board with Orchard, him and Sam are having a pretty good battle for over P6.
Well, we'll have a look at that in a minute. We have sector 1 and 2 yellow flags. Now, Medium Pilot, is he going to set up a Nikos-esque dive bomb? He has not. The Medium Pilot just thinking, I'm going to do risk and reward right now. And right now, that's the championship leader. There'll be strong words if you do take out the championship leader, I can tell you that now. Lionel getting a time penalty in P11. And Sam has... Oh, sorry. You looking at that battle between Sam and Orchard David?
Yeah, the side by side through turn 3. They're very, very sensible, mature driving from the both of them. They are getting close. There's only slight wheel contact between the two, but there's nothing disrespectful by any of the manner of driving between these two. Very, very mature driving between them.
So Josh has got away a little bit up at the top, but we're now looking at the Orchard David and Sam battle. Orchard David, I think his tyres have come into it now, haven't they? Has he stopped?
Orchard David?
Yeah.
No, I'm still riding on board.
No, as in, has he stopped for tyres? He has, sorry.
He's on 20 lap hold soft, so yeah, I think if he had wing damage at the start, yeah, he did because the Sauber's double stacked.
He did, and so
very impressive if you can get yours to the end.
Orchard David, he's looking alright. He was a little bit offline there. He's running Sam out of road there. The Spaniard is trying his hardest to get through. Jesse Tony getting a time penalty, and there's been a move. Medium Pilot is now ahead of Nikos, and for the last 5 laps of the race. Yeah, 5 laps of the race. Medium Pilot has to fly now and catch up to Josh. He has to use everything. That's Nick way off track there on his Hypersoft tyres. I think the Red Bull cars, there's one Red Bull off. They've got to have a strong word with themselves and realise what they're doing wrong in this race. So they're treating it like it's a practice session, and they're just completely destroying the tyres at this point. I think harsh but fair are the words that come to mind. As Lee now retires. Oh no! After a strong drive, Lee is the one to retire. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Where has Lee crashed? On board with the ghost of Senna. That doesn't sound right to say. No, Jesse has retired either. Jesse is retired as well, end of the safety car. So Lee is out under terminal damage, and after such a strong race for the GP2 title contender, I had to pick up the boss, he says. So he has retired himself. I do apologise for that. But it has caused the virtual safety car, which has completely lit up the race. Now Medium Pilot has got to get the start of his life off this virtual safety car, hasn't he, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, at least anyone on heavily worn tyres at this point, you'll be able to take it quite easy for maybe 1 lap. So I know the VSC doesn't stay out for that long.
The VSC is probably going to be out in a few moments' time. We've got the yellow lights on the gantry as they're coming down. There we go, back to green flag racing. Well, ish. Yellow flags in 1, 2, 3. Yellow flags in just 3 now. And Nikos, with the start of his own life, now passes Medium Pilot for P2. Medium Pilot's thinking, oh dear, how did that happen? Nikos just having the best run off the off of T1, getting now Pilot. That's going to really hinder Pilot's chance. Pilot is definitely going to start thinking about having to do those aggressive moves that he's been reluctant to do all race.
The thing is, I think Medium's in a better position to actually do that. He's got a lot more charge than Nikos.
He definitely does. Nikos, who didn't use that virtual safety car to recharge his car as best he could. This should be a pretty move there, and even on penalties, I think he's going to get through anyway.
Yeah, I think at this point you just be watching the amount of fishtailing. With the amount of tyre wear people are going to be feeling. Expect lap times slowly starting to drop, and oh, hang on, Medium's going for the move on Nikos.
He has made a mistake. Nikos, who saw him coming, knew that Pilot could not make that corner if Nikos carried his current trajectory, so he planted the brakes and let Pilot through. So that is a very mature drive there, knowing that Nikos was like, okay, this could either end in both of us going out the race or me losing P2. So let's do that bit.
I think Nikos just has to accept that his tyres are that worn, he can't really be pushing for the win anymore. His tyres will not last if he keeps battling. So he's got a comfortable lead to Glock, and I think the best he'll be able to do at the moment is third.
The fastest man on track right now is Nick, who is... I really am unsure why Nick is putting no throttle inputs in whatsoever on the straights. Or he is, but he's just sat in 8th gear, no revs. There will be words, I think, with the Red Bull pairing. Yeah, okay, this is ridiculous now. I've just seen a completely straight line. T3, there are going to be words with the Red Bull pairing after tonight. I'm not happy with their driving. Especially on debut as well. You want to make a good impression.
Nick just looks like he's coasting around. I think he's afraid to push his car if he's going to overheat his tyres again.
Well, there will be words with Red Bull from the admins. I'm not sure what they're doing. I want to have a word with them both to know what they were doing. I mean, they're aggressive, yes, and they're entertaining, yes, but is he cutting corners to get to the lap quicker?
He is not cutting corners, but he is track extending, trying to preserve his tyres. He is very, very afraid to take the normal racing line. He's going within inches of the barriers. This isn't Monaco. It's
silly. It's absolutely silly at this point. I hate to be mean, and everyone knows I don't like to be serious on commentary. I like to be a bit silly. But as Josh starts the penultimate lap, we need to have a word with these guys, because this is not a league where we're just going to come here and muck about. We're going to do a little bit of serious racing as well as muck about.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan was at the start, and it's a shame. I do feel sorry for both Red Bull pair, because at the start I think they were comfortable for a handful of points. I think just that I don't think over aggressive style is the right word, but you know they've been pushing too hard and they've bottled the race for the pair of them. Unfortunately, I think they've only got themselves to blame for it.
They definitely do. So let's change the subject to something a little bit more happy-ish. We're looking now at Medium Pilot. He's got 2.4 seconds. We're on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Is he just going to think, you know what, no, I'm just going to sit behind him and try? Because on penalties, I don't know how many Josh has got, but Medium Pilot, I don't think he's got one. So it could be that he could win on penalties. If that had just flushed up with Medium Pilot has got a penalty, my heart did go a little bit. I would have felt like such an idiot.
Right, let's have a look.
Oh, Connor's about to reveal all with his mystical hat. Jesse Tony has left the session after totaling his car on his flight back to France, I assume.
Josh has 2 penalties. Pilot only has 1, but he's 1 warning away from another penalty.
So all Medium Pilot has to do is coast around, well, not coast around the track on the final lap, but has to stay away. Stay within 3 seconds of it, and he will be set to win the race. We will see what happens though, because we're on to the final lap of the Grand Prix here in Russia right now. Josh is leading, but we don't know if that's going to be the finishing result. Anything could happen in this lap. They could spin out and crash. They could do a backflip. The cars could suddenly decide that they want to be Formula E cars and go completely on hybrid power.
The Mercedes is nearly on out of hybrid power at the minute. His charge is coming down. I think he's using all of his ERS to stay within Josh, and Josh has got a little bit more ERS than the Mercedes.
Well, on board with the Sauber of Orchard David, he's now going to make a move on Photo, or attempt to. 25 laps on these tyres, and he is going down the inside of a man who's done 20 laps on ultra soft tyres. It seems that Orchard David has got the tyres to last, and he's going to try and go for a P5. He has currently got P5. Photo is not going to give that up though. We know that Photo is going to try, but I don't think Photo even has the tyres to even consider a move on Orchard David.
Yeah, I saw him. He was struggling. He went to turn, and he just there was a bit of hesitation from the car. Obviously, last night you might as well push, but I think come sector 3, you don't want to be pushing too hard at all.
Sector 2, we have a yellow flag. Who is that? It's Nick. Nick has gone on the final lap of the Grand Prix, but right now on return to SFR, Josh is about to spin around the final corner and win on track. Is that a win in general? It is not.
No.
Medium Pilot is the winner after failing his car into the wall. Medium Pilot has won here in Russia ahead of Josh in P2, who won on track, and then Nikos in P3. Glock will be in P4, barring in mind he doesn't bin it into the wall.
By 0.3 of a second.
Fotio has just been passed in the final lap by Sam, but 0.3 of a second. What a small margin there between the two of them. But our winner tonight is Medium Pilot in Mercedes. I think that was an alright race, wasn't it?
Dramatic, and there goes Abraham spinning across the line.
Whoa, contact with Tuzmus. Tuzmus finally scoring points. Oh, big contact in Abraham's car. Well, Ferraris normally make contact after the safety car, but normally it's with a Williams, isn't it?
Yeah, fortunately for him, the Williams were quite far ahead.
Well, one of them was.
Probably not the best news for the constructors' fight.
So there it is, Brendan Lee. I mean, Josh is in P2 ahead of me. No, that's that's Medium Pilot in P1, and then Nikos in P3, championship leader, which is going to do well for Nikos in the championship.
Hey, you know if it's going to be good for the championship or not. I don't have access to that.
Information comes in a select group. You have to be a certain member, platinum member. So, barring any issues inquiries, here is the results. Medium Pilot in P1 ahead of Josh in P2, and Nikos is in P3. Glock is in P4, and Orchard David in P5. Fotio is in P6, and Sam, starting where he finished, in P7. Tuzmus is in P8, scoring his first points, and then Abraham is in P9. Stam completes the top 10. Senna didn't finish. Nick didn't finish. Lee didn't finish. He had to go pick up his misses. Tony didn't finish, and Bocca didn't finish. Oh, what a race! Quite entertaining, wasn't it?
Not a bad race for 1,000 miles south of Moscow.
Just bringing up again that it is. So Blingbank did come in, but he was here to. I think maybe he was here to engineer. I'm not sure. But yes, it was a fantastic race and a very interesting one. Senna very unhappy with the game in the chat. So we'll endeavour to try and calm him down for next week. Yes, it was a good race for both of the top, for all three of the top three actually. They all gave us a great bit of entertainment towards the end, and Nikos, just with those penalties, was never going to win there, was he?
No, I think he realised it by the time, by the time his tyres were gone. You're pushing that hard, and when your tyres are gone, you do start incurring this mountain of penalties. That's when reluctantly you have to back off.
Alright, so as GP2, unfortunately yesterday due to the issues with the stream we couldn't do interviews, as GP2 will not be getting interviews. GP2 didn't get interviews. We don't think it's fair to give Premier interviews, so we'll be talking to those drivers. If they choose to join us next week in the for the pre-race show, we'll have a chat with them about this week's race if they can remember it at all, if they haven't been celebrating too hard with that champagne. But Connor, next week is Japan. How do you feel about it with the prospect of you going there in GP2 as well as coming here to do Premier commentary?
Yeah, it's heading into alien territory. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of technical analysis that I'll have to do for that. It's a completely different handling model and completely different setups. I think predictably expect a few mixed up grids.
It could get very interesting. Have you enjoyed this week in Russia that SFR has provided with you?
Yes.
Oh well, so we will leave you to it. It's been a wonderful race. Thank you, Connor, for joining us, taking time out of your day to come and join us on commentary in this little tiny box where you brought in. What did you have for tea in the end?
Coconut rice.
I wonder why I could smell the Caribbean. So thank you for joining us.
It's alright, I'll see you next week in Japan.
And I will see you next week for the Japanese Grand Prix GP2 race, hopefully live streamed, barring any more incidents with the stream not loading. We will be seeing you at 7:25 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Ta-ra, lads.